Pachyderm Labs, from Pachyderm Consulting.
Hi everybody, this is Darran from Pachyderm North, and I'm here with a review of Microsoft Surface Pro. As you might have seen in our previous review from Patrick on the Surface RT, Microsoft is entering the tablet market space. They've created two tablets. This one is the second one that came about 6 months after the first being the Microsoft Surface RT. What's the big difference here? Well, essentially two things. Power. This is a much more powerful model, and capability as far as Windows 8. The Surface RT was a I don't want to say dumbed down, but was a lesser capable version of Windows 8, whereas the Surface Pro has the full version of Windows 8 you might find on a desktop or laptop at your local electronics store. So let me jump right in with hardware. First of all, what you might notice, which is different from your iPad or other 10-inch devices, is this is really wide. When you hold it up, it's very skinny, and that is because it is a high-res widescreen. This is the 16:9 widescreen, much like your TV at home, so it's really good for watching HD videos. It's a little different when you're using it in landscape mode, but it's nice for websites. And then I've personally found that when you hold it up like this and you're scrolling through a website, it actually is a really kind of a cool way to read a long article because you see the whole thing as opposed to just little chunks as you scroll. The chassis itself is made by Microsoft exclusively for these tablets, and they make it out of what they call Vapor MG or Vapor Mag. It's supposed to be molten magnesium cast in the form of their chassis and with a nice coating. It's neat, it's black. Beyond that, it's metal. I do find that, I'm not sure if it scratches more than aluminum, but the scratches seem to be more visible than on, say, like the back of an iPad. Not a big deal unless you're one of those people that like, say, pristine device that wants it to look new forever. For me, no big deal. Another great thing about this tablet, as well as Surface RT, is it has a full USB port, which I don't think any other tablets do, and that's fantastic because it gives you the opportunity to plug in a thumb drive and access data there. You can also plug in peripherals. I've got one here that I'll show you later, but you can plug in a mouse, you can plug in a keyboard, you can plug in just about everything because it's full Windows. What else? DisplayPort. Unlike Surface RT, I'm going to do that the whole time. This one has not a mini HDMI port, but what's called a DisplayPort, which is right there if you can see it. It's more in the line of Apple's Thunderbolt specifications, and there are plenty of cables that convert the DisplayPort to HDMI, for example, or Thunderbolt, so you can plug into Mac stuff. I've got a cable I got off of Amazon for $5, plugs right into my TV, and it's great. There's a mini SD card, also like the Surface RT. However, this one isn't hiding behind the kickstand. It's actually right there in a little slot that you stick in there. So any sort of mini SD memory card can slap in there, and you can use that for extra storage. The power connector is just the same as the Surface RT. It's right there. It's this long sort of rounded doohickey. It's supposed to be magnetic, but again, like the Surface RT, it's terrible. It's not very strong, never slaps in where it's supposed to go. You really have to get it there and fiddle with it to get it to fit. Once it does, there's a little LED light that lights up right there, and you know that it's on. It's pretty dim, but I found that it works. What else? The kickstand. Huge feature of both Surfaces. You see them featured in their commercials where they're flipping it around and kickstanding it up and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. It's great. I love to be able to just set my tablet down and work. It's a nice angle. One thing that's interesting about the cameras is the front and back facing cameras, they're both angled so for optimal use when you have the kickstand. Especially this back one, which, you know, if you're filming like this all the time you get tired, but if you want to set this down, film in that direction, it's actually angled such that you'll get a nice flat angle as opposed to a downward angle. The stylus. The Pro comes with a stylus, which is this little pen right here. Seems like a cheap little plastic pen, but actually it is a proprietary stylus, very similar to the Wacom tablets, where you can actually draw and write and do handwriting recognition. You can paint, you can do all sorts of cool stuff with it. The front works when you tap. There's a button here that It will right click and then you actually flip it over, and certain programs will use that as an eraser, which is very cool. And then it has the same shape connector as the power connector, so when you're not plugged into the power, you can slap the stylus in there using the magnets. Again, terrible magnet, so it's really, you gotta fiddle with it to get it to work. I've had much practice. Now let's get to the tablet-specific high points or low points, whichever way you want to look at it. First of all, let's go on the weight. I'm going to take the stylus off for now so it doesn't fall off. The weight is 2 pounds. That's heavy for a tablet. That's the heaviest tablet I think that's out there. You can compare to the Surface RT, which is 1.5 pounds, also a little heavy, or the current iPads, which are, I think the Wi-Fi version is 1.44 pounds and the cellular version is 1.46. So this is heavy. It's also fat. It's just over half an inch by itself, or 13.5 millimeters. The iPad, for comparison, is 0.37 inches, or 9.4 millimeters. And of course, you might see these extra covers here. They add extra thickness. The thicker one, the Type Pad, will add another 6 millimeters to that, making it almost an inch thick. So it's thick. It's not the tablet you want to have just walking around and sitting in your lap all day. But then again, altogether, it's still about the same thickness as an Ultrabook. So let's go into these neat covers that I have here. I happen to have both styles of covers. Microsoft makes two. What you see here in the blue is the touch cover. I'm probably going to get this all wrong. Touch cover? Touchpad? Touch cover. Patrick talked about his in the Surface RT, and also I'll just briefly cover it. It is pressure sensitive. There's actually no mechanical movement here. It works very similar to like a capacitive touchscreen, except it does respond to a little bit of pressure. So you can rest your hand on it and not have it set off, but when you press just a little bit, that will set the keys off. Very cool, worth a lot of hype, very thin. It's I think 3.5 millimeters thin, so it doesn't add much to the overall size of the tablet, which is good. And it comes in a bunch of colors that are very stylish and neat. Personally, I find that it's obviously much easier to use than an on-screen keyboard. However, it's still prone to some errors, and you end up doing a lot of backspacing. So if you're going to do a lot of work, not a good idea. If you're just going to do some more casual work with it, it's great. I will also note that there is a mouse pad type touchpad, just like you would find on a laptop. This particular one has the same coating on it, the sort of rubber, soft rubber, that the rest of the tab has, the rest of the cover, and that makes it a little weird to use. It's not very smooth, and so you might find your finger catching a little friction in there. So not great, but again, you've got a touch cover here. Also, you can use that stylus just like a mouse, so that would take the accuracy factor into account. The other cover, I'm going to snap this off and add the other one, is the type cover. I'll get that right one of these times. This is a 6 millimeter thin cover, which makes it thick. I mean, it adds some thickness to the overall device. However, that will be made up with the awesomeness of having a real keyboard. These keys are for real. They work just like an Ultrabook or a very small laptop. They're actually clicky, and I find that they're very responsive, and it makes all the difference in the world. The backing of this device is textured in a weird felty material. Patrick hates it, I hate it, but it doesn't seem to be any other choice. I compare it to that pressed felt that you find in the back of a cheap car, coating the trunk. It's kind of a weird feeling, but there must be some use for it. Note that the touch cover does not. The touch cover in colors is the same material on front and the back. Patrick found that his black one, which is the same as this, has that weird felt to it. So who knows what Microsoft is up there. Anyway, I definitely recommend, if you're going to be using this device a lot, to go with the type cover. It's definitely worth the thickness, and when you really want to be thin, you just pop it off. So, popping it off is fun to do. They do it in the commercials all the time: snap, snap, spin around, dance. However, it works, unlike the power connector. The magnet here is fantastic. It always finds the right connection. It's hard to pull off. In fact, I will even hold the whole thing up by just this keyboard, by just this magnet. flip it over. Once you flip it over, the keyboard disconnects. Still weird to hold it there because your fingers are pressing the keys, but it won't affect the actual use of the tablet. As far as connectivity goes, the Surfaces only come in Wi-Fi, which is fine. Most tablets are the same way. Obviously, you can do Bluetooth if you want to connect to other devices, but for internet, you got to use Wi-Fi. I did, however, come up with a little device that you can get on Amazon. They actually have a few different kinds. Mine is a startech.com model. This is a Ethernet to USB adapter. So I'm going to use that great USB port right here. And I always do it backwards, stick it in. Now I have a real Ethernet connection, so I can connect to my office network. I can connect to any place that doesn't have Wi-Fi or maybe has secured Wi-Fi but has a plug. I can plug it right in. So that's a nice little device. I'll put a link in how to get this. They're pretty cheap, and that's that. So what else sets the Surface Pro apart from the Surface RT and other tablets? Other than its size and its weight? Well, there's a reason why it's got to be big and heavy. It is a powerhouse. This does not run a mobile processor. This runs a full-size laptop-style processor with the motherboard and hardware and a real hard drive. It's a solid-state, memory RAM hard drive, but a real hard drive nonetheless. So essentially, this is really a laptop in a tablet case. With the pros and cons that go with that, and I'll cover that in a little bit. But most importantly, it's really powerful. It's definitely powerful enough to run Windows 8. It's probably, I have half a dozen computers in this house, including my work computer, and this is faster than that. This is my work computer is probably 2 years old, and this will blow it out of the water. Hi everybody, the Surface is very shiny, so I see you there, but I just wanted to quickly show you how Windows 8 looks on the Surface Pro. I don't know if you saw a little bit of the Surface RT version that Patrick had. It's kind of slow, and you will not find any of that slowness here. This is a wicked fast machine, and obviously very responsive to touch. I mean, this is what Windows 8 was built for. It was built for touch, and then with the desktop, which I'll switch into here, which just looks like your normal desktop, works just as well. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to show you I'll show you the News app. See how fast that loads. You get a little bit of a splash screen. You get a little bit of loading. The loading is due to my internet speed. There it is. Unfortunately, the news going on in Boston. And then we swipe down to get rid of it, and you're back to your start screen. You've got your mail, calendar. You've got a People app, which has it's basically attached to Facebook and your contacts and Skype, and it pretty much integrates all of your systems. I've got games for myself and my daughter, mostly myself, and then I've got the full suite of Microsoft Office. Let me show you what that looks like. This is Word 2013. Microsoft has redesigned Office to be more touch-friendly, so you can use it normally, or you can actually do it with your finger, and it's pretty good. But I can say, hello world. This is using the type cover, which works very well. This type cover is awesome. And that is it. Works just like your regular computer. When you want to go back to mobile mode, here you go. You go back to your mobile apps. Switches pretty well between the two. And you use, of course, the Microsoft Store to get your apps, or you can, with the Surface Pro, you can get apps from any other source just like you would your regular desktop. So I'd start off the pros and cons with the pros. This is the ultimate mobile computer. If you need the capability of your laptop or your desktop, don't want to carry a larger, even an Ultrabook has a much larger footprint. Don't want to carry it. Ultrabooks can be 3-4 pounds. This one is only 2. And with the type cover, I mean, you're getting the same features. You're getting the same features as an Ultrabook at a much smaller size and much more compact. The capabilities are amazing. I mean, it really does do everything your regular computer can do. So there's no more just using your tablet for surfing the web. You can use this tablet to create presentations, to manage your email, to what else? To make videos like this one. It's really unlimited as far as how it operates compared to every other computer you have, as opposed to a tablet. With the type cover, like I said, it's a full keyboard, it's a full computer. You can take the type cover off, and it works just like a regular tablet. There's an on-screen keyboard which works perfectly well. It actually has a handwriting recognition screen that works very well especially if you're really good at cursive, which I'm not, but it still does all right. So the cons, of course, are it's heavy, it's thick, it's not an Apple, so it's not cool, but yeah, it's the battery life. It really is. That'll kill you. If you need a tablet to travel, if you need a tablet that you can leave on and get your emails all day long, this isn't it. Unfortunately, one of the downsides of a laptop processor architecture versus a mobile processor is that the laptop architecture, when you turn it off or you put it in sleep mode like you would a normal tablet, it's off. It is completely off. No internet connection, no mail notifications. It's off, just like if you turn your computer off. As opposed to the Surface RT or the iPad, when you hit the sleep button, the screen goes off and it functions minimally, but you'll still get notifications when your email arrives, text messages, that kind of stuff. So there's a big downside there. This is really, you want to treat this like a laptop and not like a secondary phone as far as getting your notifications. I found that to be frustrating, but the smartphone that I have takes care of that job anyway. I'm always going to have them both at the same time. So when I hear the smartphone go off, I know that there's email, and whether I can check it on the phone or check it on here, depending on how much work I need to do, that works out pretty well. But for many, that won't be enough. I guess we've moved into the cons. What else? Like I said, the coating or the build itself is quality but scratchy. I've already got a few significant scratches on here, and I haven't done anything major with it. Some scuffs as well. I think that's just maybe the black as opposed to the brighter silver or aluminum. But it's definitely not a device that's going to stay pristine forever, at least on the back. On the front, it's Corning Gorilla Glass, which is the most indestructible glass that you can find. It heals itself from some certain small cracks and is very resistant to larger cracks. What else? What other cons are there? Those are the major ones, and those are pretty major. So I recommend this device, but I would coach my review in saying that this is not a tablet. If you want a tablet, you got to look at the Surface RT, and if you want a really good tablet, as Patrick probably already, if you've seen that review, if Patrick would note that it's not the best tablet. So you're probably better off with the iPad or the Samsung Android tablets or the Nexus 10 or 7. But if you want a tablet-like laptop that you can do all your work on, that's compatible with all your other Windows programs, you can do your taxes on it, you can do anything on it, this is the one you need. This is fantastic in that regard. Another obvious downside is it's expensive. This piece here is $8.99. This is the 64 gigabyte model. There's a 128 gigabyte model whose price I don't know now, but you'll probably see right here through special effects. It's expensive, $8.99 for just this, plus the covers. This is, I think, $130. This one is less than that, but not much. So the covers themselves add some extra price to the whole package. And so it ends up costing about as much as a premium Ultrabook. But it is a premium Ultrabook. I mean, that's what it is. So don't go into the Surface Pro market looking for an iPad killer, because it's really not the same thing. This is a small Ultrabook, and for that, I love it. This is Darran from Pachyderm North signing off. Thanks.